Hey everyone, it's Grisel, and for today's video, I thought I'd invite you to do a little color study with me using my really cheap acrylic markers. I will use this watercolor sketchbook. It's 300 GSM, and for the acrylic markers, I will use this one that I got from Delhi. This is the only acrylic markers that I have. It has 48 colors, and one of the challenges here is that instead of pointed ones, it has round tips, so it will be quite harder to color smaller details and edges. I'm actually surprised that these markers haven't dried out yet because I've bought this April last year, so it's already more than a year. So I thought it's really worth the price considering that it's really affordable. As I've mentioned earlier, it has rounded tips, so let's see how it works. So for the first donut, I'd like to try leaving space for the highlights instead of using white after. One thing I've noticed with acrylic markers is that it gets darker when it dries out. So I'm actually not sure if it's the same with other acrylic markers because this is the only one that I have tried so far. So it's really important that you have your swatches. For the longest time, color was probably my biggest weakness. I always admired artists who could make food look so vibrant and delicious, and I could never figure out how they chose their colors. And I thought maybe they were just naturally good at it. But lately, something has started to click. I'm still learning, of course, but I feel like I'm finally looking at colors differently than I used to. So today, I just wanted to relax, draw some donuts, and play around with different color combinations. I also wanted to challenge myself a little bit by using these cheap acrylic markers. I think sometimes we convince ourselves that we need expensive art supplies before we can make something beautiful. And don't get me wrong, I love quality supplies, but I also enjoy seeing just how much I can do with affordable materials. And sometimes limitations actually make the process more fun. One thing I've been doing recently is becoming a lot more intentional with the colors I choose. Instead of just picking the exact color I see in the reference, I've been asking myself, what if I use green? What if I push this color a little warmer? What if I made this shadow a little cooler? Or what happens if I stay within a certain group of colors? I don't always know if it's going to work. Sometimes it looks amazing, sometimes not so much. But I think that's part of learning. I also realized that color studies are actually really relaxing. There's no pressure to make a finished masterpiece. I'm just observing, trying things, making little mistakes, finding combinations that I really like, and I think that's something I want to do more often because I learn so much from these quick studies. Another thing I've noticed is that the more I practice color, the more confident I become. I don't spend as much time second guessing every single marker anymore. I'm still thinking about my choices, but I'm not afraid to experiment. And honestly, I think experimenting is where most of the learning happens. It's funny because a few months ago, I was spending most of my time trying to improve my drawing. Now, I still care about drawing, of course, but lately I've been completely obsessed with color. It's like I opened a new chapter in learning art. And now, every time I finish a piece, I'm already thinking, what color combination should I try next? Also, I love drawing food because it's such a great excuse to play with color. You can exaggerate things a little, you can make the icing brighter, the shadows more colorful, the highlights warmer, and somehow food still ends up looking delicious. And I think that's one of the reasons I keep coming back to food illustration. Something else I've realized is that studying color is actually way more relaxing than I expected. When I hear the words color study, it sounds so serious, like you're about to sit through an art lecture. But it's really just looking, observing, trying things, making little adjustments, and seeing what happens. I think that's why I've been enjoying it so much lately. I don't know if any of you can relate, but sometimes I look back at my older drawings and I almost don't recognize them. Not because they are bad, but because I can literally see what I didn't understand back then. It's actually kind of encouraging because it reminds me that if I keep practicing a year from now, I'll probably look back at these donuts and think, oh, I could have done that better. And I actually love that. It means I'm still growing. Recently, I've also been trying to slow down while coloring. Before, I wanted to finish as quickly as possible. And now, I actually enjoy taking my time, looking at each section, thinking about where I want the next color to go. It's almost like solving a little puzzle. It's actually funny because I never expected color theory to become one of my favorite things to study. Because growing up, I thought color theory sounded really intimidating, like something only professional artists understood. But the more I practice, the more I realize it's not about memorizing a bunch of rules. It's really about training your eyes. And the more you observe, the more things start making sense naturally. And at least that's what it feels like for me. By the way, I love to know which donut is your favorite. The chocolate one, the strawberry one, or the yellow one? I honestly can't decide because I keep changing my mind every time I look at them. I think I'm going to keep doing more of these color studies. They're relaxing, they're low pressure, and I feel like I'm learning a lot every single time. So if you enjoy these kinds of videos too, definitely let me know. I'd love to make more. And anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Whether you were drawing alone, studying, or just relaxing with this video, I really appreciate you spending a little bit of your day here with me. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!